I'd like to call this meeting of the Nevada Board of Wildlife Commissioners to order, seeing as it is slightly after 10:30 a.m. in the morning. First I'd like to have is a Pledge of Allegiance, led by one of our veterans, Mr. Capurro, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to remind all of the commissioners here that you have to push the little red button up here by the microphone to speak, and then make sure you shut it right off when you're done speaking. Otherwise, it creates interference. If you don't have the button pushed, it doesn't go into the recording system. I'd like to have roll call of the commission. If you could please go over the commission, Suzanne. Present. Thank you. And then I'd like to have a roll call of the county advisory boards. If you could please stand up and state your name and county you represent for the record, please. Thank you very much. And remember, if anybody would like to speak today, we have these yellow cards available, I believe, on the table just outside the door. If you could pass them up to the vice chairman. And put a number on, if you'd like to be called on a specific item, put a number on there of which item you'd like to be called on. Other than that, we'll give you an opportunity to speak. And also, just since we don't have an adequate clock on how long your speaking time is, you're given 3 minutes to speak, and the vice chairman will be timing you. And we got about 15 seconds left. He's got a red card he'll hold up, telling you got about 15 seconds to wrap it up, then we'll have to move on. All right, and let's move on to the approval of the agenda. The one item here, since we've got some ongoing litigation going on, I'd like to strike number 14 from the agenda. Anybody have any other things they'd like to strike off this before, or move the order? Go ahead.
I didn't hear. What did you say, Mr.
Number 14, the discussion possible action to rescind 2011-2012 heritage tags. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have 12? Wait a minute. Why is mine? Why does yours show 12?
12 is wildlife account balance.
We got a different version here. Do we have a newer version if we get one for Mr. Stockton? Strike it from the agenda. For the record, the vice chairman just asked me what we'd like to do with it, and I said strike it from the agenda. All right, we're on the same page? Excellent. Do we have any other modifications to the agenda? I'd like to move the order. I do know I was advised that possibly tomorrow we might have Mr. Lackey might be slightly late coming in, so we might have to push back the items that he is speaking on slightly, and we'll move. But I think we can do that under the agenda as it is, if he does show up slightly late. So we can deal with that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Maureen Hullinger is on late in the day. If we could move her up so she can catch her flight.
Okay. And did you push your button and I couldn't?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Kind of far away.
Let's see. So Maureen, which item was Maureen?
35B.
35B. So you'd recommend, like to see us move that up to about where?
shortly after the bear item so that she and Carl could probably leave at the same time.
Okay, so if we can move 35B between item 27 and 28.
That'd be great.
What about, Mr. Chairman, 18D? As in dog.
That's today.
You okay with that?
All right, today for Raine, right? I said 18D, that's on today's. So she's here all day today, right?
Yes, we could do it then. I'd like to have her here for the bear discussion, just in case there's some tag questions and whatnot for on Saturday. So either way, either
All right.
today or tomorrow.
All right, so we'll move, we'll strike 14, move 35B up to between 27 and 28. Have anything else? Seeing none, ready for a motion on that.
I move it. I so move.
It's been moved by Vice Chairman Lent.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cavan to approve the agenda, striking number 14 and moving 35B to between number 27 and 28. Everybody understand the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Let's move on to number 3, member items, announcements. Commissioners may present emergent items. No action may be taken by the commission. Any action requiring commission action, any item requiring commission action will be scheduled on a future commission agenda. What do we have? Mr. Lamp?
Mr. Chairman, I've got several items here. One is on page 37 of the minutes, did we ever, I wanted to make sure we had that taken care of, where the agreement between NDOW and the Department of Ag not to exceed 400,000 and had the number approved if we exceed 400,000. Did that ever get taken care of? That was one thing I wanted to. Page 37 of the minutes, where the contract with the Department of Ag not to exceed 400,000, I don't know.
Third paragraph.
Third paragraph. Just, did that get taken care of, or are we going to exceed 400,000? Okay. We won't exceed that, okay. That was one question I had here. And then I had a question. Are we looking at drafting regulations, you know, for sensitive material not to be released to the public, anybody, department or anything like that? No? Okay. I was concerned about that. The other question I had, Mr. Chairman, is we have this preliminary on the doe harvest, the necropsy. When is that going to be available? The necropsy results on the doe. I don't remember if we discussed that, the raw data, because we're going to need that before we set seasons again.
We're hoping in December. Larry is here, but I think we're looking for December to give a report, so.
Okay, so we'll have it before.
That'll be the final on it in December?
Well, I'd have to ask Tony. There were a number of other analysis that were waiting to get in, so I suspect it will be ready to go in December with that.
We just want to make sure you have it before. I don't see Larry here to ask him. And then
Yeah,
I had
that's fine. I'm sure that December, I will let you know, though, because we want to have all those data in before we make our recommendation, so.
Then the other thing I'd like to just bring to everyone's attention, I got a copy, and I don't know if everyone got a copy of the trap line, and about the project in Washoe County, Project 18 and 014, and where they took the 34th lion from Washoe County, and interesting data about Each cougar kills about 48 large mammals a year, and that's been documented in the study. And then, excuse me, and then that's a study that was initiated in 2004. And some of the statistics that came out of that is interesting. And I won't go into the numbers here, but basically in that area, based on NDOW population estimates, we had a 50, that's an area we're treating, we had a 53% increase. And if you look at what we consider a control area like the Sheldon, to the north of that, we had a 38% decrease. And then adjacent unit 015, which is across the Granite Range of the west, we had it's an untreated area, we had a 35% decrease. And they also reported that in the California Bighorn and the Granite Range, we had a 200% increase in sheep, and that's being treated. And so it's obvious that the money we're spending in there is making some good because it's given more opportunity for hunters in deer and sheep. The other question I had is, and I'll have to ask the director, when the Board of Examiners 2 weeks ago, they went to the Board of Examiners with the one heritage project and was approved at the same time in Fallon, and we approved the 3 modifications on those, and they did not make it to the Board of Examiners. And I don't know when they're going to go to the Board of Examiners, but one of them project, the study on Utah, and that's been changed a little bit because it's an amendment to the original contract which provides for a study to determine if predator control has a positive effect on mule deer populations. The amendment extends the termination date from June 30th, 2010 to August 12, 2015 and increases the maximum amount from $125,000 to $500,000 due to the availability of $375,000 in federal funding. So they've extended to $500,000 on that project here, and I wasn't aware we're going to do a 5-year project, so we ought to take that in consideration when it comes back to us. But those 3 other heritage projects we approved in Fallon, they did not make it to the Board of Examiners, right? And when is that going to be?
November. There's a number of things going on. The Maxim contract was approved by BOE. We've been trying to set up a meeting with Mr. Maxwell, I believe is his last, Dr. Maxwell, to come in and take a look at what data we have available for him. I heard a voicemail message from him just a couple days ago. They're trying to find a date they can do that. You know, he asked for 10 different data items, of which we only have 3. So he's never been in the office and actually looked at what data we currently have and what format, which is somewhat troubling to me. But he's going to be coming in a meeting with Tony and Larry, and we're going to provide him. In fact, I think that we already sent him some information vis-a-vis the mail to get him started. He was on his way to London, as message said. Patrick might want to comment on the deficiencies on the other contracts that's been holding us up, but correct me if I'm wrong, but the control agencies are asking for some requirements that we are currently having our DAG look into that we don't think are necessary.
Yeah, the remaining issue we have on those contracts is the risk management division is insisting that the proponents carry a workers' comp for the project. It's the only issue we have unresolved, and we are in adamant disagreement with them on that. They've not required that in the past. I mean, the proponents aren't really doing any work. They're passing money through. We've explained how Wildlife Service is a federal agency, and we've asked New to look into that, see if she can help us. We have, I think for the AG's deadline, we have until the end of the month to get the contracts, and New's working on that piece, so I don't expect there to be a problem, but we got to resolve that one last issue. I don't think they want to.
The other issue was that we just got resolved. There were 2 issues. One was a liability umbrella as well as workman comp.
Yeah, that's correct. We resolved the liability issue I'm trying to remember now.
The same issue, if the money goes to Cecil Freddy as a representing Hunter's Alert, they were requiring a liability umbrella as well as workman's comp.
Right.
Well, it's a pass-through, really. The money from us, you know, he's going to contract with Wildlife Services. Wildlife Services has all that taken care of. You know, Hunter's Alert doesn't have any employees they're going to be hiring, quote unquote. So, you know, typical thing, what they're doing here is they're scrutinizing every contract to the nth degree to squeeze out every cent of any kind of money they can to delay implementation of something. That's my take on it. But, hey, the requirements are the requirements, and we've got to jump through the hoops.
Right.
So.
That's why we voted on it, because it's critical we get that approved at the next Board of Examiners that meets monthly, because if we got to get them started, and that's why we put it on the agenda, I think, for Fallon.
And I think if we get, November 9th is the BOE meeting. Once BOE meets, the contract's already signed. That's the last signature, and that would facilitate doing work in the winter. That's the main objective. So I think it would be really pushing if it was December or January, but early November should have an adequate time. I would hope that the project proponents are working with Wildlife Services, working out their contractual arrangements, so it's, you know, once BOE signs it, they can get moving with it.
Mr. Chairman, I had also a question. I wanted to, you know, ask maybe the director, but on the application fees, the $10 application fee, now that is during the special session, there was something there that said that fee was going to be used for other things. Is that right?
For the record, Patrick Cates. Yeah, we did. They did make some changes to that. It allows it to be, currently it can only be used for the application hunt system itself. And we got language to broaden that a bit so that it can be used for the application hunt system, the NWDS system, and associated business processes. So, you know, basically the selling of licenses and that.
To the tune of what, $2 million? We get in that account?
I don't have the number in front of me,
Roughly?
but that's about right, yeah.
I think, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to maybe put that on the agenda next time to see if what we should be charging them, because right now, I think we're charging $5.21 per application and plus like $1 or something for return cards. And if we're overcharging a sportsman, we ought to take a look at that and maybe reducing that or something, because if we need to do that, but we ought to take a look at what it's actually costing us.
Okay, could you perhaps send us another copy, I guess email would probably be fine, on what that new regulation was that was passed, so we can, he might have a copy of it, that way everybody can see it.
I was involved in this a long time ago, and I know when we raised it to $10, or when the commission did, I testified it wasn't needed, and they assured us it would be used only for the application process and modifications in the program when we wanted to do it. And that was the assumption when they raised it to $10. And if we're going to divert it to something else, I think we should take another look at it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Was that it? Then, yeah.